Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Shreya Savijay. Let's take a look at some stories of this week's episode. Shias in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan and POK call out systematic elimination of their community in Pakistan. Clashes break out in POK as people retaliate to police brutality. A 25-year-old Areed Safi becomes first female Ladisha artist. New industrial developmental scheme to bolster industrial growth in the Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory. And later, we'll take you to get soaked in the colourful celebrations of Lohri in our special edition of Incredible India. While a systematic discrimination against Shias in Pakistan and illegally occupied regions of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan is known to all, the horrific incident of brutal killing of 11 coal miners in Balochistan has shaken the conscience of people and observers around the territories. People in Gilgit-Baltistan and Muzaffarabad held demonstrations to condemn the Pakistan establishment, which they say has either been complicit or culpable in the systematic killings of Shias across the length and breadth of the region under Pakistan's control. We have a report.
These people holding banners demanding justice are the most discriminated people under Pakistan's illegal control. Shia, an Islamic denomination which finds itself in minority, has been systematically targeted over the years by invaders, Sunni fundamentalists, and now the Pakistani establishment. The recent killing of 11 Hazara coal miners was the recent chapter in their systematic elimination. People in Muzaffarabad say they have been unable to come to terms with the extrajudicial killings of Shias that are tacitly supported by Islamabad.
हमेशा हमारे लोगों की लाशें बिछाई गई, हमेशा हमारे लोगों को टारगेट किया गया। क्या कसूर है हमारे लोगों का कि हमेशा आप हमें टारगेट करते हो, हमेशा हमारे लोगों का कत्ल करते हो।
Another region under Pakistan's illegal occupation, Gilgit-Baltistan, which was once dominated by Shia population, has met an even brutal assault on their ethnicity and identity. Locals say Islamabad has been systematically altering their demography in the region. Their claims have been supported by extensive research work carried out by a number of organizations. In a recent study conducted by the Law and Society Alliance, a think tank, the population of Gilgit-Baltistan is now approximately 1.5 million, with around 39% Shia, 27% Sunni, 18% Ismaili, and 16% Noor Bakshi. Shia in Gilgit-Baltistan constituted more than 80% of population in 1948.
ये जो वाक़या बलूचिस्तान मच के मकाम पे हुआ है, इंतहाई दिलसोस, दिलखराश और इंतहाई जुल्म बर्बरियत का जो तारीख़ रकम हुआ है कि 11 निहत्ते पुरअमन मासूम कानकुन जो अपने घर के अफराद की किफ़ालत के लिए मज़दूरी में मशगूल थे, उनका न किसी सियासत से ताल्लुक़ था, न किसी पार्टी से, न किसी ऐसे मामले से जिससे इलाके के माहौल को, अमन को नुकसान या ख़तरा पहुंचता। उन लोगों को इस कदर सफ़ाकाना ज़ालिमाना अंदाज में कत्ल करके, उनको ज़बह करके उनके साथ जुल्म करना, ये इंसानियत के मुंह पे तमांचा है।
The locals have agitated, protested, and frequently raised demands seeking constitutional and political rights. Their demands, however, have been muzzled with brute force. Voices for rights in Gilgit-Baltistan are suppressed by law enforcement agencies, and the nationalist leaders are subjected to torture and imprisonment. In order to tighten its grip on the region, Islamabad has arbitrarily decided to give it a provisional status of a province. Observers say this might be the beginning of the end of Gilgit-Baltistan and its people.
Moving on, people in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir have been facing subjugation and violations of the highest degree. While their resources are being plundered indiscriminately, their rights are trampled upon through systematic legislation. The employment rate is dwindling and inflation is skyrocketing. Locals say their sufferings are not natural but manufactured in power corridors of Islamabad that has treated them as second-class citizens for the past 7 decades. Recently, when they raised their voices against the discrimination, the law enforcement agencies rounded up activists and beaten charged them. The police brutality has triggered anger and widespread protest, and the people have retaliated violently. Have a look.
Tens of hundreds of people in the illegally occupied POK have taken to the streets against what they call atrocities of the local administration and Pakistan government. Sloganeering against Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan, they urge the authorities to address their plights on urgent basis. Protesters accuse the government of manufacturing humanitarian crisis in the region, where they are being subjected to unprecedented price rise. The employment rate has plunged to an all-time low, and the civil and political rights are being crushed with brute high-handedness. However, this time around there has been a change in the story. While the media was barred from reaching the site, there have been reports from the authentic sources that people have retaliated. They say they cannot endure barbarity anymore. Several clashes between police and people have broken out in different parts.
दोस्तों, अभी जो ताज़ा इत्तला मुझे आई है उसके मुताबिक आज़ाद पतन के पुलिस स्टेशन को प्रोटेस्टर्स ने आग लगा दिया। पहाड़ों से वो उतर के नीचे आए और उन्होंने उसको आग लगा दी है। पुलिस वाले जो हैं उन पर शदीद पथराव किया गया है और पुलिस ने पसपाई इख्तियार की है। पुलिस हैज़ रिट्रीटेड into Pakistan. They have crossed over the border between POJK and Pakistan and they have crossed over into Pakistan. तो पुलिस ने रिट्रीट कर दिया है। शदीद लाठी चार्ज हो रहा है वहाँ पे। जितनी जगहों पे मुजाहरे हो रहे हैं वहाँ पे बहुत सख्त लाठी चार्ज हो रहा है and POJK has been turned into a police state.
Islamabad has been systematically exploiting people of POK at the pretext of development. However, the dams and roads that have been built over the years have not shared even a minor share of productivity with the locals. All they cater to and benefit are people of Pakistan and their Punjabi leaders and generals. It's not just the conventional sources of employment are disappearing owing to the repressive measures of Islamabad, but the education and health system has also been tottering under the misrule. People say that their movement is not for a limited cause this time. They want rights, respect and employment. They say they will not give up until they are reassured.
जब निकल आए हो तो अपनी डिमांड्स को मैं आटे ही की कमी तक महदूद ना करो, कीमत तक की महदूद ना करो, 300 रुपए कीमत कम करने तक की महदूद ना करो। इस आवाज को मजीद तोना हो, ताकतवर बनाओ, अपने मुतालबात को वसी करो और ये कहो कि ये सारी महंगाई खत्म होनी चाहिए। ये जो लोग सूट इस्लामाबाद में बैठे और पिंडी में बैठे हुक्मरान तबकात जो कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान की मजलूम और महकूम अवियत का अवाम का जो जिसके हम पर भी असरात पड़ रहे हैं, ये लोग सूट बंद होनी चाहिए।
An extraordinary sense of apathy and Islamabad's complicity in crime against people of the region has drawn criticism from all across the globe. However, a brazen Islamabad has continued its stepmotherly attitude towards the region and its people. However, the observers say that simmering anger can lead to a full-scale rebellion this time, and authorities must realize at this point that they cannot curb their freedom and rights anymore, and people must be given their rights back.
Women in Jammu and Kashmir are excelling in all these spheres. Be it academics, sports, extracurricular, or performing arts, Kashmiri women are proving their mettle in all the fields one can think of. So, today we are going to meet one such young and talented Kashmiri woman named Areej Safi, who is the first woman to be performing Ladisha, which is a type of folk literary genre in Kashmir. Have a look.
Kashmiri women are determined to shatter all stereotypes and prove their mettle in all the fields which was once said to be dominated by men. For years, Kashmir's Ladisha, a form of folk style, was said to be dominated by men until one woman emerged on the scene and captured the imagination of the youth. Sayyid Areej Safi, a 25-year-old talented young woman from Alamgari Bazar in Srinagar city of Jammu and Kashmir, is the first woman from the territory to write and perform the traditional folk.
Thank you so much.
स्कूल से ही मैं एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ में बहुत एक्टिव रहती थी. डिबेटिंग, एक्टिंग, इन सब चीज़ों में नेशनल लेवल पे भी मैंने अवार्ड्स हासिल किए हैं. और उसके बाद फिर मुझे 12th के बाद ही कुछ करने का शौक़ था, कुछ ऐसा कि मैं सोशल सर्विस में जाने का बड़ा शौक़ था मुझे. तो जब मेरी ग्रेजुएशन कंप्लीट हो गई, मैंने कुछ साल सिविल सर्विसेज की तैयारी में भी दिए, लेकिन फिर उसके बाद मेरा इंटरेस्ट उससे हट गया. और चूँकि उससे मुझे लग रहा था कि जितने मेरे अंदर हुनर है उन सब को स्टेज नहीं मिल सकेगा, तो फिर मैंने शिफ्ट किया. और मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मैं शायद पब्लिक स्पीकिंग, और चूँकि मैं लिखती थी बहुत अरसे से, लगभग 7th 8th क्लास से मैंने लिखना शुरू किया था, और मैं काफ़ी शौक़ रखती हूँ पोइट बनने का भी. तो लडीशा के ज़रिए ये तीनों चीज़ों को एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म मिला. वापस ये तुल्य ताऊ या जत रचताऊ, अगर छौ शर्मा कशुर करताऊ.
Areej is a graduate in humanities and is currently pursuing her post-graduation in psychology. She was introduced to the folk art as a child when she used to watch Ladisha every Sunday on Urdu TV news channel. Deriving inspiration from the telecast, Safi decided to contribute to the art and started writing and performing it. While traditional Ladisha used open platforms like streets and theatres, Safi uploaded her videos on YouTube and started gaining popularity among Kashmiri youth. It is Safi's love for Kashmiri culture and traditions that she is working tirelessly to revive this old Kashmiri art and encouraging more and more youngsters to listen and perform it.
मेरा ख्याल है कि अभी बहुत इनिशियल टाइम है इसके रिवाइवल का. अभी मुझे इसको रिवाइव किए हुए ये साल हुआ है, और जैसा कि आपने खुद कहा, मैं पहली खातून हूँ, और मेरी जनरेशन के मुझे नहीं लगता अभी मेरे बगैर शायद एक और मेल हैं जो परफॉर्म करते हैं लडीशा. मुझे इल्म नहीं है इस चीज़ का सही से, लेकिन जितना देखते हैं इर्द गिर्द, कोई मालूम नहीं पड़ता कोई नाम ऐसा कि जो अभी यूथ में जो हो, जो इस चीज़ को बड़े डेडिकेशन से फॉलो कर रहा हो. तो मेरे ख्याल से फर्स्ट स्टेप इज़ कि इसको वापस रिवाइव किया जाए. पहले लोगों को इसकी अहमियत बताई जाए, लोगों को ये बताया जाए इसको प्रिजर्व करना इम्पोर्टेंट है. हाय हाय ये प्यार जाए गमच, हाय हाय ये प्यार जाए गमच, कशिरन गई कशिर ज़बान.
Ladisha is a satirical style of traditional singing believed to be native to the territory of Jammu and Kashmir. This form of satire is written in verses and is used for making commentaries on various social and political conditions in the society. A type of folk ballad, Ladisha uses humor to convey the message to the listener along with entertaining him. Traditionally, Ladisha was performed on stage and in street plays wearing traditional Kashmiri dresses and a turban. A musical instrument with iron strings was used during the performance. It is due to the Kashmiri women like Safvi that young girls and women are getting inspired to break all stereotypes as well as work for reviving traditional art forms and traditions.
The tertiary sector of Jammu and Kashmir is blooming at a fast pace. It is because of the suitable socio-economic conditions and the incentives given by authorities that a number of different industrial firms established their units in the territory. In one such step to attract more investment in the Union Territory, the central government has approved a new industrial developmental scheme for Jammu and Kashmir, so that industrial development in the territory reaches at the block level. Have a look.
With the motive of ushering the socio-economic development of Jammu and Kashmir and providing more employment opportunities to the citizens of the territory, the Government of India has approved a new industrial development scheme for the Union Territory. The scheme was launched in Jammu and Kashmir at an event in Jammu city by the Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha. This scheme is from the period of date of notification up to the year 2037 with a total outlay of Rs 28,400 crore. It is expected that the scheme will encourage new investment, substantial expansion, as well as nurture the pre-existing industries in the territory.
For the purpose of equitable and balanced development, the policy lays a special focus on creation of zones wherein the industrially backward areas will be given topmost priorities and higher incentives.
The scheme is expected to provide employment to around 4.5 lakh people, along with providing additional support to around 35,000 people by means of radical transformation in the existing industrial ecosystem of J&K with emphasis on job creation. The scheme is the first industrial incentive scheme of the Government of India, which aims to take industrial development to the block level in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and attempts for a more sustained and balanced industrial growth in the entire territory.
हम ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि जीए पैकेज में उन्होंने जो कवर किया है सारा हॉर्टिकल्चर, फ्लोरिकल्चर, इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर, फिर उन्होंने होटल इंडस्ट्री, मतलब कि सर्विस सेक्टर सारा कवर कर दिया। और हमको बड़ी उम्मीद है कि सर्विस सेक्टर में जैसे हमारे पे यहाँ पे हमको हमेशा मेडिकल की फैसिलिटी नहीं थी, अच्छे अच्छे हॉस्पिटल नहीं थे, तो कोचिंग सेंटर नहीं थे, तो वो सारे अब इस पैकेज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए वो सब लोग यहाँ आएंगे। और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि आने वाले समय में जो एम्प्लॉयमेंट ग्राफ है हमारे इंडस्ट्री का वो तकरीबन 10 लाख को टच करना चाहिए। आज हम कोई 4 से 4.5 लाख लोगों को डायरेक्ट इंटरेक्ट एम्प्लॉयमेंट दे रहे हैं।
The scheme offers capital and tax incentives which aim to attract more investments in the Union Territory. Capital investment incentive at the rate of 30% in Zone A and 50% in Zone B on investment made in plant and machinery or construction of building and other durable physical assets are available. Units with an investment up to Rs 50 crore will be eligible to avail this incentive. Maximum limit of incentive is Rs 5 crore and Rs 7.5 crore in Zone A and Zone B respectively. Capital interest subvention is given at the annual rate of 6% for maximum 7 years on loan amount up to Rs 500 crores for investment in plant and machinery or construction of building and other durable physical assets. Financial incentives based on GST are also given. This will incentivize output up to 300% of the eligible value of actual investment made in plant and machinery or construction and building and all other durable physical assets for 10 years. However, the amount of incentive in a financial year will not exceed 1/10 of the total eligible amount of incentive. All existing units at the annual rate of 5% can avail the working capital interest incentive for maximum 5 years. Maximum limit of incentive is ₹1 crore.
इंसेंटिव जो इतने ज़्यादा दे दिए हैं, इसके साथ कुछ ना कुछ बहुत सी इंडस्ट्री इंटरेक्ट होंगी यहाँ पर, और इंडस्ट्रियल स्टेट्स में तो ये आएंगी ही आएंगी। जो अच्छी इंडस्ट्रियल स्टेट यहाँ पर बनेंगी और वहाँ पर वो ये प्रोविजन होगा कि पावर वो अच्छी देंगे, तो उसके लिए वहाँ पर इंडस्ट्री आएंगी।
Authorities in Jammu and Kashmir will also ensure friendly and hassle-free implementation of the scheme, especially for J&K entrepreneurs, and will make sure that the outside investors also find a smooth and progressive ecosystem for their business plans.
Next, we move to our section of Incredible India, where we'll take you to witness the zestful celebrations of Lohri, a festival celebrated in the northern region of the country with great zeal and fervour to welcome the spring with open arms, especially in the states of Punjab and Haryana. Take a look. Festivals in India are celebrated with great passion and joy. The auspicious Uttarayan brings golden sunlight and a gust of pleasant wind along with itself. Almost all states in India are dipped in festivities at this time, with festivals like Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Bihu and more. While the entire country worships the sun god and celebrates the offset of winter, northern states of India, especially Punjab and Haryana, celebrate the occasion in the form of Lohri, a winter folk festival.
लोहड़ी की मान्यता सर ये है कि इसमें बुराई को जलाया जाता है और अच्छाई की जीत होती है। जो कि मेन लोहड़ी का मोटिव है वो यही है कि हमेशा अच्छाई जीतती है, जितना मर्जी बुराई आगे बढ़ जाए, जो मर्जी हो जाए, आखिर में जो जीता वो अच्छाई की होती है।
पंजाब में जो लोहड़ी है, एक तो न्यू ईयर होता है, और लोहड़ी पंजाब का एक ट्रेडिशनल फेस्टिवल है। और इसको क्यों मनाते हैं, एक तो पहले कहते थे लड़का घर में पैदा हो तो लोहड़ी मनाते हैं, अब तो लड़कियों की भी लोहड़ी है। हम मनाते हैं लोहड़ी परिवारों की भी, मतलब खूब परिवार हम मिल के और लोहड़ी मनाते हैं कि जैसे कि एक आगाज़ होगा नए साल का, ठंड भी जाएगी और आगे बसंत आएगी और नया साल का आगाज़ होगा ताकि अच्छे दिन आए। इस तरह की लोहड़ी मनाई जाती है।
Said to be one of the most zestful festivals in northern India, Lohri is celebrated a night before Makar Sankranti, which usually falls on 14th January every year. The festival marks the end of winter and is a traditional welcome of longer days and the sun's journey in the northern hemisphere by Hindus and Sikhs. People get decked up in the best of their outfits, light bonfires in their yards, socialize around fire and sing and dance joyfully to celebrate the occasion. It is believed that the bonfire symbolizes Lord Agni, and circling around the fire brings positivity in the lives of people.
उस टाइम जो मस्ती होती है वो देखने वाला नज़ारा होता है। और रात होते ही जैसे आप सब देख रहे हैं कि शाम हो गई है, अब अग्नि के आगे सबने माथा भी टेका। मान्यता है जी, लोहड़ी में मान्यता ये है कि जैसे जिस वक्त लोहड़ी आती है तब जो ठंड है जो इस टाइम पड़ रही है वो चली जाती है, और लोहड़ी की अग्नि में लोग ऐसा समझते हैं कि अगर हम उसको माथा टेकेंगे और उसमें कुछ धूनी डालकर उसके अग्नि को करेंगे, अर्पित करेंगे, तो हमारे जो ज़िंदगी के दुख कष्ट हैं वो भी निकल जाते हैं। तो ऐसा माना जाता है और मुझे भी ऐसा लगता है कि अगर साल की शुरुआत कुछ ऐसे हो जाए तो बहुत मज़ा आता है।
Also said to be a harvest festival, Lohri is celebrated by people after weeks of Rabi crop session work, and therefore it is celebrated by eating sheaves of roasted corn and other winter foods. Traditionally, people enjoy eating winter foods like gajak, sarson ka saag, radish, groundnuts, jaggery and other items during the festival. People also offer these winter food items to the bonfire, as it is believed that offering food items to the bonfire helps take away all the negativity from life and bring prosperity. While the bonfire is lit at night, during the day, people enjoy flying kites and rejoicing the onset of the new winter season.
लोहड़ी बहुत धूमधाम से पतंग उड़ा के 5-5 फुट के पतंग हैं जो उड़ाएंगे, मजा लेंगे हम। मजा आता है आपको? बहुत मजा आता है जी। जो 13 तारीख को लोहड़ी में हम पतंग उड़ाते हैं, कह नहीं सकते जितना मजा आता है।
ये तो लुधियाना के लिए, खासकर अमृतसर के लिए, जहाँ पे लोग पतंगबाजी करते हैं और सब पूरा हमेशा काम करते रहते हैं परिवार के साथ, सारे मिलके, यारा दोस्तों के साथ मिलके एक जगह इकट्ठे होके लोहड़ी, सुबह तो पतंग उड़ाते हैं, शाम को अपना गेट टुगेदर करते हैं और लोहड़ी बालते हैं।
The word Lohri is a combination of the words Tilhori, which means til or sesame, and Rohri, which means jaggery. And it is believed that the festival officially marks the onset of spring in the north region of the country. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India celebrates a number of festivals that we'll continue to explore in our section of Incredible India. So that's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.
भारत की पोलियो से जीत की कहानी बड़े बड़े शब्दों में लिखी जाएगी, पर इस जीती हुई लड़ाई को कायम रखने के लिए हमें अपने प्रयासों को जारी रखना होगा जब तक दुनिया से पोलियो का खतरा पूर्ण रूप से टल न जाए। खतरा है बरकरार, इसीलिए पोलियो की खुराक पिलाना है हर बार। 2 बूंद हर बार, पोलियो पर जीत रहे बरकरार।